What's up, guys? I'm gonna take it slow because I really want to mean the things that I say, and I'm too poor to hire an editor, and you never know what's gonna happen. Everything in life is habits, right? When I sleep, I can find a place outside because I live outside, and I've lived outside. When I can find a place I feel is safe, and I can get that right now. I'm sleeping in a tarp, and then I put the mosquito net over the tarp, and then I sleep under my jacket. When I can get to sleep, I have vivid, beautiful dreams that when I wake up, I feel like I don't fit in this realm. I feel like I'm completely out of my body and in a more perfect way of living the fifth dimension. And I'm noticing it's becoming increasingly obvious, and it's brought to my awareness that this is a holographic simulation. This is a virtual reality based on your intentions. It is that the birds love you. I don't know if we're floating in a stasis chamber and being projected in here through a virtual reality. If in order to make this consciousness system run, yeah, there's birds left to right. It's not the case. But I wanted to say, to kill this fly. Ready? One, and then the other one wisened up real quick and escaped. He was like, "Oh shit, he's got the skills. He's got them skills, bruh." To be a YouTuber is to be at war with the camera. The camera is projecting constantly at your subconscious, and it's building a firewall every time you guys comment. To be an influencer is to be constantly ramming your head through that brick wall to get the truth out to the masses, because so I originally made this as a sort of the most perfect thing to this channel, this most perfect thing to do. I was in Section 8 in public housing. I had left and went to an industry college, and the drugs that they gave me at the college gave me this very profound spiritual experience. And I decided to leave on the last day. My roommate Elliot Holz's nephew decided to leave on the last day, and then I went back 2 weeks later and got my certificate, got certified in the industry. And when I first went there, all the women were like 2018, all the women were beautiful. Everyone there was extremely talented. The next time I went back, so instead of the fall season, the late fall season, I was around a bunch of like drugged up white kids. No diversity, just a bunch of like trailer trash. Wants to make music, they're terrible at rapping, ugly, except for one kid that was very talented, very good looking, like the same star energy that my whole group had. And he left on the last day. Something happens in that industry school that when people have that type of elevated, higher vibrational genetics and timeline in life, they all leave on the last day. That's a consistent thing. It's like an initiation and most people either get controlled and it forces them to leave before the test, or it's just a natural reaction from any human being to what happens in those industry schools. But I came home and the car accident happened 6 8 months later. I went home, and the people that I had to live with were heavy drug users, and if I didn't want to smoke, they're blowing the smoke in my face. And I'm also trying to take antidepressants, and I'm such a singular focused person. Like, I'm somebody that had to fight and kill my father at 13. Then I had to escape an insane asylum that was not going to let me leave, and it was stealing my childhood from me. And I had to escape that. I had to convince people that didn't want to talk to me to love me in order to work with me, to help me get to where I needed to go. Because I know the perfect thing to do. I see the perfect way. I know exactly the best way. As a baby robin is right above me, on the tree branch above me. You feel me? So I'm always chasing the perfect thing, and the antidepressants would heighten me. The weed would keep the serotonin going. I was delivering pizzas, and I just go until I stop. I just keep going, even if I can't see where I'm going, like what I'm doing. I don't stop. Translate that to the car accident. Then I had to be forced to sit in a room, and incredible spiritual awakenings happened after the car accident, where I really learned astral projecting. And for you, I'm not going to scream at the crow because there are people that live here. Even though he's obviously screaming directly at me. Watch. The thing is that they're smart, and they're in a network, and that network responds to my intelligence. So, if I'm gonna say I'm gonna edge on the crow to see what he does, they're not gonna make the crow caw. They're gonna wait until I'm actually breaking free from the trauma prison that they've programmed me to be in. So I fought really hard. The girl that when I left the retreat, I met this girl, and she seemed like the darkest person I'd ever met. And she was beautiful, very unique individual. Like someone I felt was rare and had a special thing and a special connection. But I had been so psychologically molested for so long that, and then I brainwashed myself with pickup videos on the internet. And then I just, you know me, I'll power through it and just learn and try to piece it together the best of my ability, like delusional. So I came off weird, but I became a good leader, and it taught, like, I had this high vibe that nobody could beat, because you couldn't comprehend the cloth that I'm cut. You haven't suffered enough. The point was, I tried for years. We'd have an amazing week, like where we'd go on all these adventures together, and then I'd be really invested, and then all of a sudden I'd catch her walking downtown with another guy, and she was traumatized as a kid too, so she wasn't sleeping with these guys, but she was like She had a wealthy grandmother, so she was able. It was like she was living. I'm the most empathic person in the world, in a weird way, where I have this perfectly created being that nobody can understand, and it's my challenge as a 33, born in the 11th. Birds don't like this. So I could see that she was. Now I know that what I was seeing is that she's a Gemini, many suitors, and that she was going through her own little chapters of each book with each guy. She was experiencing all the different romance novels with all the different guys. So that pushed me to outperform them all. That pushed me, like the Keyhoes, the Irish Family, pushed me to work out and make music. She pushed me to elevate my social status and really refine my skills at making people laugh and being a leader and being able to walk into rooms and be the light that nobody at the time could realize, and it would piss all the little white kids off whose fathers are hunters and alcoholics. But that's not the point. The point was, even after like the most after I came back and we had an amazing, like, one of the, like, a storybook worthy adventure, like a movie worthy adventure. We went to Boston, went around New England together, and I showed her all the different places that I've been, and showed all the people that had seen me going through custody. Look what the cat dragged in. There's a dragonfly here. Which was very cool for all of them. They got a relief moment. They're like, "Oh, look at Casey, he won." And then she went off to somebody else. Then, when I got in the car accident, I drove my car 80 miles an hour into a pole. Probably 90. Like, I floored it right when the local high school concert went. So the whole town drove by me. I had all my delivering pizza cash all over the ground, and I'm crying, and my car is wrapped around the pole. And the airbag didn't go off. So I hit it and had no mark at all. I remember just floating out of that simulation and entering this one. So if we're in purgatory, or if they moved me into a sub place and then I fought my way back into life, like if it's all holographic simulation, maybe they moved me and then I moved back out of purgatory or something through overcoming challenges. Like, if killing someone is the greatest sin on earth, killing yourself is killing somebody. So maybe I went through hell. But I remember when I was in the retreat and I was having sleep paralysis every night, and I was having like stuff that I shouldn't say, but I'll say it. I was getting all sorts of stuff. I had a whole manifesto that I wrote of downloads that it all came out. It all came out. All the stuff that I wrote down that everyone thought I was crazy for, because my friends would cart me to parties and I'd be high and I'd sit in the corner and I would just start talking and I'd be channeling something and I would talk for 2 hours and I wouldn't stop, just dropping bombs about what's going to happen in the future. And everybody was like stunned, but nobody said a word about it. They were just like, "You just talked for 2 hours, bro." And they all listened. And then my MK Ultra handler would take me to a different place. My Truman Show friend. I seem to have caught the attention of a spiritual YouTuber that I can tell that, because of my empathy and all my Aquarian energy, all the people that are kind of surrounding my life, they're like Lego pieces. So he's coming through, whoever he is. And then sometimes other people come through. It's still the information. I'm just relaying the information, but my style changes all the time. That's my gift, is I can just build myself up in any way. And then I realize that as I put the pieces together, I can see that I've co-created the entire thing since birth. I can see all the pieces, how they fit. And then I'm learning to let go and let God, and then overcome the challenges that is set for me. But it took me driving into the pole for her to want me. And then within a week, she just treated me like dirt because I had so much light. After everything that happened, I was so full of light. Now I realized that she was systematically putting me in situations that would kill my spirits. And it turns out all the people that I hated and I thought were my enemies are just the consistent names of all the enemies that I keep cycling through. Now I know that it wasn't special at all. Maybe she was special, but the people were just extras that keep coming in my simulation. Alex, Vincent, Jaden, Gary, Noah, Jacob, Sam, Kelly, and Richard, with occasional Heathers and Brians and Cats, a couple of Dereks. It's the same. The people will have the same name and they'll show up in the same season, the same astrological season, and the challenges will be relatively the same. Like a good example of one is that I feel like my power gets stolen, or something that I should be holding into myself, the value that I hold in myself gets taken and put basically in a castle where I can't get to them without putting myself in a lot of danger. Like I used to just walk into people's houses. Like if if I needed to go talk to somebody and they wouldn't let me in, I would just walk into their door when I knew it was unlocked and just walk into his room. Or I'd wait for the perfect moment and I'd sneak into a crackhead's tent and I'd steal his gun and I'd steal his hatchet, and then I'd go back around and then I'd tell his manager about what he did, and then I'd go talk to all the different employees in the station about his behavior, and then I'd call a community action program to have him distracted, and then I'd go in to burn it down, and then I'd choose not to burn everything down. And the one time I did decide to burn everything down, and I was on my way to Molotov, a millionaire's house, my car tire fell. And the house is in the center of town. It's a business too, right in the center of Burlington. And there's slumlords that raised the price on it all across the board 1,000. So they made the entire Burlington population homeless so that they can bring in the people that paid police to traumatize my father, most likely. And then we lost all of our properties by rich out-of-staters, kinetic cunts. Just like Robert Baratheon and Brian Boru, my kingdom was usurped, and I've been forced to travel around by myself, trying to incite revolutions to fight back against what we know is wrong, but they've been so brainwashed and controlled that the ones that I love and I'm trying to save are attacking me every step of the way. Unless I submit to their reality. Like, that's the reality. You're like, you're so crazy. Normal people don't talk like this. Normal isn't real. We're here to be creative. We're here to take in these Lego pieces and put our own spin on it, and embrace ourselves and overcome the challenges and evolve, and then show that off. We're supposed to make content, make albums, make art, but now they have us eating each other and destroying each other and burning everything. What was the point? So I consistently cycled trauma for months and months and months, and I found a couple YouTubers that really helped. Then I went across the country to try to save the world, and I found information that saved thousands of people: fasting, sunlight, probiotics, neurogenesis, autophagy, apoptosis, ketosis, the Higgs boson, quantum mechanics, letting go and losing your mind and coming to your senses, opening your heart, sitting out in nature, exercise, calisthenics, cold showers, daily routine structure, giving yourself structure. And then I made this as a desperate attempt to try to save the world.